Hi, everyone. Welcome to Precious Moments. I'm so glad that you could join me today. If this is your first time, welcome. Welcome to the family. I'm so excited that you are on this journey with us. We have had two episodes so far. Safe Spaces 1, where we looked at why safe spaces, what are safe spaces. Episode 2, we went deeper into the issue of safe spaces and the importance in building deeper connections with the people in our lives. Today, we're bringing along the men. I have such a heart for bringing men into this conversation because I feel like as a society, we have created spaces for women to air their emotions, to cope with emotions, to walk through and handle emotions. But we haven't really brought the men along. Now we have men who are dealing with childhood issues, who are dealing with things that happen at certain points in their lives, and they are now grown adults who are being pulled by the strings of things that happened in the past and they don't know how to deal. Our men are imploding from the inside out, and we want to help them. And so today I'm excited. I have a guest that I have with me, and we're going to tackle this topic.
To my dad, on the cheek or the neck, with little presence of his own father, I figured it was God who told him it was okay to kiss his son. But somewhere between locker room talk and my favorite hip-hop verses, I understood hetero men were not to love each other out of fear of being queer. So instead, we dap each other up, or give a fist pound, or the classic man hug with the forearm in the middle to police the potential gay. Because if we full frontal hug, then maybe our pelvic bones will touch, and that'll be weird. That'll be really weird. Or worse, our chests will press. I feel your heartbeat. I feel your humanity is just as fragile, broken as mine. Who lied that our strength is found in the empty distance between us?
So today I have with me Javier. He's joining me on this episode. He is representing the men. No pressure. So I've known Javier for 3 years. We went to Bible college together, and in those 3 years, we served 2 of those years together on a connections team. And so I've grown to appreciate the person that he is, what he carries, the voice that he has for this generation. One thing about Javier is he laughs from the core of his being. It's not, some people have a floaty kind of ha 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 kind of. No, not Javier. It's like you know, from the depths of who he is. So I appreciate that. And one of our values here at Precious Moments is laughter. So he is definitely at home here. So welcome, Javier.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, great. So let's not waste any more time. Right, first question. What is a safe space from a male perspective? What does that look like?
That's a good question to people. I would say a safe space for a male perspective is firstly a place where you're accepted. And I take this from the story of the prodigal son when he finally came back and returned to his hometown. And one of the things that his father did was immediately he saw him, he ran and he just accepted him. He gave him a hug. He embraced him. And I think that's important for men to feel accepted because we're all different. We all have a different story and personality. And so just being accepted for who you are is very important. Secondly, is being in a place where you're esteemed as well. So going back to the story of the prodigal son, not only was he accepted, he was also given a ring. He was given the best cloak. He was given fine raiment and clothing to esteem who he was and to lift him up as a person. So just being esteemed and being respected is also very important for a man. And lastly, being celebrated. That's so important for men. And this is, having a healthy appreciation for your gifts, your talents, your accomplishments, just being recognized and celebrated. I think those three things: acceptance, esteemed, being esteemed, and being celebrated.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's really good. And so, how easy is it to find that in male friendships? How easy is it?
Yeah, I'd say it can be it can be easy if you're within the right circle. If you're with people, and again, it doesn't really matter how long you've known the person for. I truly believe you can know somebody for a short amount of time, but you have one of the greatest relationships compared to somebody that you've known for years, who just kind of takes you for granted, takes the relationship for granted. So I'd say for men, it can be challenging if you aren't in the right circle. So it's so important to have the right circle and to find that circle. Again, it's just finding people that are like-minded, people that you can have fun with, people that you're going in the same direction, you have the same ambitions, and within that you find that safe space.
How do you view the topic of toxic masculinity? Like, I really feel that men are under attack.
Absolutely, and I agree. I'd say manhood and masculinity is under huge attack from all frontal areas, all aspects. Traditionally, we've moved from what it was to be a man, and of course, things change with time. But the core values should really maintain. And I feel as though we see that in the wider society. We see it on a grand stage with our leaders, politics, business, entertainment, whatever you wanna name it, sports. We see it. There's an attack there, and also in the home we see it as well because of a lack of strong role models and people that exemplify what it is to be a man. And manhood is earned. It's not given to you. You know, you have to earn it by doing deeds. And so I believe that there is an attack, and I also believe that provides an opportunity for us to kind of return to the core foundation of manhood and to leave that for a generation to come.
So you've mentioned core values a couple of times. So what, in your opinion, are the core values that manhood is founded on?
Well, that's I think that's a loaded question.
In your opinion, so no pressure.
No. I'd say firstly, just being humble. I think humility is a core value for true manhood, and humility isn't being servile, or it's not looking down on yourself. Humility is doing deeds of humility. So deferring to other men. When I see you, I acknowledge you. I embrace you. I esteem you. Also, just being a doer, being somebody that gets the job done. I mean, growing up in my house, my mum will go and do the shopping. She'll bring the trolley, and as soon as she gets to the door, you know, sometimes at this point, I don't. I just know when she's come back, I'm just going straight to grab the trolley and take it, because we have a big flight of stairs. I'm going to take the trolley all the way to the kitchen. Things like that, you know, just building those habits and those practices that defines your manhood. You know, so humility is one. I'd say, being humorous. I think humor is important. You've got to be, you know, have a manly humor about you. That's something that's fundamental. Being adventurous. Somebody who's adventurous is, for me, is part of being a man. Being a man of integrity. You know, that's fundamental. Saying what you mean and meaning what you say. You know, having honesty in your thoughts and in your actions. Everything just matches up. I think that's important for men. And we have seen a deviation from that standard. We have people saying things and they're not following through, giving promises and they're not delivering. On all spheres and levels. So I think those things, when we begin to list them out, I can go on for
it's true.
ages.
It's true. So I'm going to pick one.
Go on.
Integrity. It just went bing, 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 bing. I'm like, okay, we're going here. Okay, this is my opportunity. Saying what you mean and meaning what you say. I feel like we live in a generation where, I don't know if it's due to social media or I don't know what the root is, but like, just going on the subject of relationships, I feel like they're quite fickle, that, you know, the men are not as committed. So there is that tendency for men to say things and not mean. There's a, I would say, a lack of awareness of the value of words. So men are just saying things or making promises or leading people on, or all these things. Can you talk to me a bit about that, like as far as our generation is concerned, and how men are not saying what they mean and mean what they say? Because I feel like that's an epidemic.
Yeah, it is. And I'll share a story with you. I recently went to one of my local stores to buy some headphones, and usually get them for a much cheaper price than if you went to your Apple or your retailer that's authorized to sell the stuff. And I went there and I just told the guy, hey, I need headphones. He sought me out and he said, yeah, you can sort me out. He even recommended this this brand that was it had a Bluetooth addition to the headphone. So it wasn't a wireless Bluetooth headphone. It was just a headphone with a plug and a cable that had a Bluetooth function. Okay. So in my mind, I was still trying to work out what the benefit is. I just said, it's fine. I need something because I'm going on a journey. I can't go without, music or anything. So I told him, hey, I'm going to be straight with you. If this doesn't work, I'm coming back and I want my money. And then, a few of the people there were laughing. They found it humorous. And he was like, yeah, don't worry, man. If if it doesn't work, come back. If you're not happy, I'll sort you out. I said, fine. So I gave him the money and went. And as soon as I started using the headphone, I noticed some issues. It was just way too complicated. The Bluetooth function wasn't necessary. When something's just overcomplicated. So to cut it short, what happened was I then returned to the shop 2 days later, and I was waiting and I saw the gentleman and I said, hey, you sold me these headphones and I'm not happy with the product and I would like my money back. And he said, no. You know what's the issue? There's nothing wrong. The thing works. I told you this was this and like that. I said, hey man, this is what you told me. You told me if I wasn't happy, I should come back and you give my money back. And I explained to him what the issue was and why I wasn't happy. What you sold me wasn't the product that I thought it was. So I want my money back. And his friend or his colleague who was there, you can see he was getting a bit agitated. And then I told him, hey, listen, you're a businessman. Be a man of your word, okay? You told me that if I wasn't happy with the product, I should come back and I'll get my money back. And just from the whole dialogue and the conversation, I could see this guy struggled in that area of integrity. And I think it's because of this need of shortcutting. People want to just shortcut and just, there's so much conniving and there's so much deceit as well in practices. And it builds up over time and it becomes habits. And what happens is when you get to that stage where you don't have that high level of integrity, you struggle to believe what you say. And you only really affect yourself. It's not other people that you're hurting, it's you. So you may be telling somebody something and you're not even sure if you believe it yourself. Because you're just so tied up in your words. And that's a dangerous place to be.
I mean, there's a lot in that. There's just a lot. It's like, I feel like there's a lack of role models. Because even when you're talking about the story of growing up, you knew when your mom came, you would go and you would get those bags because you're not going to leave your mom to be going up the stairs. But then I can think of maybe some men who, they'll be walking next to a woman and the woman is struggling and it doesn't even click that, hello, I don't even think it's a man thing. It's just a human thing. It's just considering. It's kindness. Kindness. That's the word I'm thinking. My heart is going out for our generation. With the rise of social media, with the rise of instant things, I feel like we aren't able to go through the process, to do what we need to do to go through, to endure. We don't know what endurance means because we have instant messages. I remember reading somewhere where it was saying that because I'm a bit older, but I have experienced a postal system, right? So I know what it means to receive a letter. I used to receive 6-page love letters when I was,
Go you.
younger, So I experienced letters and I've experienced iMessage.
Mm.
You know? So I am caught in between these two worlds of I know what it means to endure. I know how to say I love you to someone and have to wait 3 months before I receive a letter to
Right.
say I love you too.
Yeah.
And then I know what it means to send a message at 7 o'clock and wanting a reply at 7:15.
Mm.
You know? And what my concern is the generation that's here now, that all this generation knows is instant.
Mm.
Because if we're Christians, and we are, God is not instant.
Mm.
You know, the Bible does not change based on time, based on generations. And so there are things and there are processes that we need to go through. And I feel like we are losing a lot of Christians our age because we are unable to go through the process.
Mm.
And I'm going to leave it here because in part 2, we're going to go a bit deeper. So grab a male friend if you have one.
Tell a guy to tell a guy.
Yeah, that's right. I like that. Tell a guy to tell a guy, and start having these conversations. We will see you next month. Bye. Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe. And we would love to hear from you, so drop your comments in the box below. That's all for me for now. Bye.